Trump accepted the GOP presidential nomination with the biggest business pitch of his career. But did it resonate with voters? I want to bring in Pollster Lee Carter, who will take us through some of the key moments from his speech and show us the voter reaction. Lee, good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, let's start with Donald Trump talking about being the law and order candidate. Listen to this.
I have a message to every last person threatening the peace on our streets and the safety of our police. When I take the oath of office next year, I will restore law and order to our country. Believe me, believe me. I will work with and appoint the best and brightest prosecutors and law enforcement officials to get the job properly done. In this race for the White House, I am the law and order candidate.
What do you think, Lee? What are we looking at there?
The Republicans, the red line, it went off the charts. Top as high as it could go. It was an A+. With independents, it was a B, and Democrats, it was a D, which is not all that surprising. But what we have heard this week, earlier in the week, Rudy Giuliani, this speech, people really want order back in this country, and a lot of people are calling his speech fear-mongering and say that he did that too much, but that's not what the people said. They feel protected, they feel hopeful, and they feel like he can do the job. He's brought in the right people, and he's demonstrated that this week, so it really did resonate.
All right, so then we have Ivanka Trump introducing her father. She spoke about his record for equality for women within the Trump organization. Watch this.
At my father's company, there are more female than male executives. Women are paid equally for the work that we do, and when a woman becomes a mother, she is supported, not shut out.
What did that say, Lee? Now, Donald Trump, we should point out, lags Hillary when it comes from support from women.
That's right.
Did the comments move the needle?
I think they very well could.
Yeah.
I mean, Ivanka was an amazing spokeswoman on this, but they have the facts on their side. They were able to demonstrate that they do have equal pay, they have the experience about women, and it really resonated. You could see there the Republicans off the charts again with an A. Independents, it gave them something to think about. And Democrats were a C, which ultimately isn't that bad considering the way things have been. Democrats usually are on the floor when we're talking about Donald Trump.
You guys agree with this?
Yes, and Ivanka seemed to suggest, mind you, that her father favors help with child care, subsidized child care, and even paid family leave, which is a Democratic talking point. But again, we'll see where that goes in the few months ahead.
The Democrats do that regularly. I know in my office when I was a senator, I paid women more than I paid the men, just how it turned out. And the people that I had run against, it was reversed, and it was, you know, just about bullet points, talking points. It's not really, in fact, as you referenced there.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion on whether we are just too politically correct in the country right now. Donald Trump discussed this last night as well. Listen to this. Got to get your take on that one.
Yep.
I will present the facts plainly and honestly. We cannot afford to be so politically correct anymore. So if you want to hear the corporate spin, the carefully crafted lies, and the media myths, the Democrats are holding their convention next week. Go there.
How did that resonate?
It really did. I mean, you could see the Republicans there off the charts again. He had an amazing night with the Republicans and independents as well. Democrats, he wasn't expecting to move them along the middle with that, but he had to deliver the goods last night, and what the voters said is he did.
Yeah. He said he's ready to go to work for the American people. Watch this.
I have had a truly great life in business, but now my sole and exclusive mission is to go to work for our country to go to work for you. It's time to deliver a victory for the American people. We don't win anymore, but we are going to start winning again. But to do that, we must break free from the petty politics of the past.
Did he say enough to win over independents with that?
You know, I really think he had a great night with independents. We've been seeing independents have been tracking with Republicans for much of this election. But this was the night where people really were going to take a look. They're going to start thinking about whether or not they're going to cast their vote for him. He had to be more substantive last night, and I really believe that the voters that responded to us said, I'm going to give it a second thought, and I'm really willing. I think he's going to have a big bump. We're going to see it next week.
Despite the headlines that were written by people who either wrote them before he spoke or even didn't watch the speech.
Right. Yeah.
No, I think
shame on them for
I'll
that.
tell you, the Washington Post is particularly negative on Trump, on everything.
Fear-mongering,
they are.
Whatever you want to call it.
Did you actually do anything on the prosecution of Hillary and the emails and that trustworthy credibility issue? What were your thoughts and views there?
From earlier this week?
Actually from the speech. Was there anything like that?
You know, I think that what people did talk about, and they responded that he had a different tone last night, and instead of talking about crooked Hillary, he talked to her about his opponent. He talked about those kinds of things, and he did it in a much more eloquent way than he has before, and people did respond to that. They're more willing to listen to it.
So what's your prediction in terms of a bump? Any number?
I'm not exactly sure. I think I've heard people say it could be as high as 10. I think at least 5 points.
A lot of people said 10 points. But you know what else? So who told us earlier in the week, Dagan, that you want to look at it? I think it was John Bolton. Ambassador John Bolton, he said you want to look 10 days after the Democratic convention about really what the impact of these conventions will be on both parties.
Right. It's 1 week and then 2 weeks. It's roughly 2 weeks after the start of the RNC. I wanted to point out Ivanka did not mention Hillary Clinton in her speech.
Yes.
She didn't, and that was calculated. It had been enough early. It was about her dad. Give the American people reason to vote for him, not against her.
She didn't want to be anti. She didn't want to be negative. Lee Carter, great stuff.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, Lee.